What's going on? So this one is gonna be about Dave Chappelle, Sticks and Stones, and by now everybody and their mama got a tick about it. I've never been that big on Chappelle. I thought, let's be realistic. The Rick James R. Kelly skits back in the day and a few other things is what really blew him up to where he got. I think he is good. I will give him that. I think he's conscious and he has a mind. I will give him that. He's been around a long time. Some things hit, some things didn't. He's not the second coming of Richard Pryor. People need to stop with that foolery, please. Richard Pryor was a groundbreaking comedian who busted his chops in a more competitive era. I mean, for crying out loud, with all the social media, you have what I call a lot of third, fourth, and no tier comedians who are just basically loud and broke. I mean, really, when Chappelle, let's see, let's look at the comedians that his so-called peers are. You got Cat Williams, who appears to more hood hip hop oriented, and he has some moments, but he's never gonna cross over like Kevin Hart, who is for some people he's a modern day Eddie Murphy in a bankable way, not reaching Eddie, not seeing Eddie, but in a bankable way, he's the crossover king of the modern era. Sad to say. You got Steve Harvey, who took over the Sinbad, Bill Cosby, middle of the road, everybody loves you on TV role. So again, that's not gonna happen. You have Mike Epps, who kind of is like a tweener of different of social and regular, but again, it's fit into a nice little tidy basket. Hollywood think they slick. Ain't nobody upset with what Chappelle said. He said things that general people say, and just that the political correct police watches, blows things out. Um, Regardless of people's sexual orientation, choices, decisions, their outlooks and stuff, people have comments and takes. And I don't. The Chappelle ain't offensive or nothing, and he ain't say nothing wrong. But he's not the second coming of Richard Pryor either. I mean, to me, this is as absurd as when 50 Cent said that Chris Brown was better than Michael Jackson. People don't respect African American legends and the dues they paid. Richard Pryor was a storyteller, and he also talked about social injustice and what have you. But he didn't have to use the crouch of other entertainers or anything to blow his horn. Because Richard Pryor could sit there and make a face, and it was funny. He could go into alter egos, Mudbone, etc., and be funny. He could give you a reflection and be funny. He talked about himself and vulnerability. And Richard Pryor was kind of like Marvin Gaye in that honesty, vulnerability, and that pain and trauma is what touched so many people. That's what made him great. Chappelle is a crossover, appeal oriented comedian who hits on issues, but he has appeal. It ain't by accident that he's on Netflix or wherever, and that he says no one goes through the days of somebody being like Lenny Bruce to Richard Pryor to George Carlin or Eddie Murphy for that matter, of going like, oh, you said that. Oh, no. Generally, people aren't tripping. They're blowing this up because it's who he is in this thing. But he's just doing his thing. You either are feeling him or you ain't. And it's not that deep because he's a comedian. And when I say it's not that deep, he's a comedian. I'm not downing him. I'm making a point. He's just making social references to LGBT. He's talking about guns. He's talking about racial. He's talking about people that are in the news. Really. And there's nothing, and I don't, I'm not like, he ain't said nothing that I thought, oh, um, this is like, oh, he shouldn't have said that or shouldn't have done that. He just giving his take. And some people are running with it one way or the other. I can respect his hustle and his grind because, like I said, he's paid a lot of dues. He's come a long way since Half Baked, and and he had other bit roles. He's been on a long time, so the cat has, and why he left Comedy Central. So put some respect on it. But it's not no. But again, Dave Chappelle is not the second coming of Richard Pryor. That was a different era, different time, social climate, and also you went for the jugular. Um, Pryor paved the way for the Eddie Murphys and Chappelles and others to come through. Chappelle's style of humor, you can get people at the barbershop talk like that. That, shoot, that's not like, it's not, it makes you think, but it's not like the second coming of that. But it has its place. All these comedians that I mentioned have their own bag. It's like the Chris Rocks, Chris Tuckers, Martin Lawrence's, all of this still around. So they still have their audience and people. It's just that different subject matters and topics come about. But to sit there is no, and I'm going to say this again, Chappelle is good for what he does, but there is no definitive king of comedy today. Are you kidding? Give me a break. There is none because everyone's cut from kind of like the same cloth, and that unless they really go up there and tell you about how Hollywood really is, and they won't be heard from again. Nobody is going to get up there and go all out like that. Not even Chappelle. So, but you can respect what he does, and that's the bottom line. But that's my take about Dave Chappelle and all these comments and different things. So, feel free to give me your thoughts and your take, what you think about him, the Sticks and Stones special, etc. But he's not the second coming of Richard Pryor. Please stop with the madness. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and the bell rings. A new video. Have a good day. Peace.